Good morning, all of you. This is a continuation to the part 1 of JEE Advanced 1989 question. In this question, he is asking us the heat supplied by the heater to the gas is dash. We can observe that this is neither a constant volume process. See, the volume of the gas is changing, so it is not a constant volume process. It is neither a constant pressure process because see, there is a force due to atmospheric pressure plus there is a spring force which is acting. So the force is continuously increasing. So as this piston is in equilibrium at every instant, we can say the pressure of the gas is increasing, right? So the process is not a constant pressure process also. So we'll use the first law of thermodynamics to calculate the heat supplied by the heater. You know that this is a differential form of the first law where dq is the heat supplied by the heater, du is the change in internal energy of the gas, and dw is the work done by the gas. So we will calculate change in internal energy and the work done by the gas. The sum of these two will give us the heat supplied by the heater. First, let's calculate the change in internal energy of the gas. If you remember, in the first question we had discussed the final temperature of the gas was 800 Kelvin and the initial temperature was 300 Kelvin. So as the temperature of the gas had increased, we can say that the gas has gained some internal energy. One more thing I wanted you to observe in this schematic is that you see the initial speed of these atoms, they are less, and finally the speed of the atoms has increased. So initially it is very less, okay, and finally towards the end of the process it has increased. So when the temperature we are saying is increasing, it is nothing but the average kinetic energy of the gas molecules, right? So that one thing I wanted you to observe here. So let us go on to calculating the change in internal energy of the gas. So the change in internal energy of the gas equals NCV dt, where N is a number of moles, CV is the molar specific heat capacity at constant volume, and dt is the change in temperature. So integrating this du, we will get the total change in internal energy of the gas. We know that this is a different expression for the change in internal energy. So CV you can write as R by gamma minus 1, and NR dt will be nothing but dPV, and integrating that will get P final V final minus P initial V initial divided by gamma minus 1. We have already discussed this, so just keep this also in mind. We have the final thermodynamic coordinates and the initial thermodynamic coordinates, and the value of gamma is 5 by 3 for a monatomic gas, and we will now put our values in this expression. So we get the change in internal energy of the gas as 600 joules. Next, let us find the work done by the gas. Now during the thermodynamic process, this gas exerts a force on the piston and displaces the piston, so this gas does some work. So let us consider the free body diagram of the piston here. So the forces acting on the piston are the force due to the gas pressure, which is P gas into area of the piston. Next, it is a force due to the atmospheric pressure, and the next is the force due to the spring. Another important thing is this is a quasi-static process. So we can say that this piston is always in equilibrium. So the net force, that is the force due to gas pressure, atmospheric pressure force, and the spring force is always equal. So the net force on this piston must be 0 at all times during the thermodynamic process. So during the process, what is happening is the spring is getting compressed and the force due to the spring is increasing towards left. So you can see this force vector which is increasing in length. Next, The atmospheric pressure is constant, so the force due to atmospheric pressure on the piston is constant always. Now, as these both forces must be balanced by the gas, so we are seeing that with time, the force due to the gas pressure on the piston is also increasing in the opposite direction. So, all these forces, three forces, must be balanced at all times. So we can write force due to gas equals to force due to atmospheric pressure plus the spring force. As the piston moves, the pressure of the gas is varying. So the force applied by the gas on the piston is also varying. If we assume that the piston has moved by dx, the work done by the gas will be force due to the gas into dx. Now we will just integrate this expression and find the total work done. So I'm writing force due to the gas as nothing but pressure of gas into area. I'm writing pressure of the gas into area as P atm into area plus kx. We have got this from this expression here. Now let us integrate this expression. X varies from 0 to L0. The piston we had discussed has moved by length L0. So we are integrating from 0 to L0. In the next step, I am taking the integral inside and multiplying by dx. So we get integral dw is w equals to p atm into a dx, limits from 0 to L0, plus kx dx, limits again from 0 to L0. So in this integral, p atm and a are constants. We'll remove them out of the integral. Integral dx is x. So we get this as p atm into a into x plus kx dx. Again, k is a constant. Take integral inside. Integral x dx, we get x square by 2. So this will be half kx square from 0 to L0. So finally we get this expression as work done as P atm into area of cross section into L0 plus half into k into L0 square. We have these values given in our question. We just substitute these values in this equation to get the total work done by the gas. We get the total work done by the gas as 120 joules. The total heat supplied by the gas equals to change in its internal energy plus the work done by the gas. We calculated that the change in internal energy of the gas was 600 joules and the work done by gas is 120 joules. So the total heat supplied to the gas by the heater is 720 joules.